And I am back here on the channel. It is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money-taking, the man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying YouTuber in YouTube entertainment today, Liko the Fourth. And right now, I am doing just a random talk with everyone to, I don't know, I had some free time, and I figured why not talk to all of the people subscribed and shoot the breeze for a little bit. I like doing these things. Maybe not have people on, and just give you some updates and whatnot, things of that sort. So today I want to talk about a couple of things. I want to talk about a few things that I am excited for, and some things that I have been looking into, and you know, those different hey, welcome Mystic Night Owl, good to see you on the day side of things. This is just a random chat. I'm going to do some things that I'm excited for. I'm going to talk about some different things I've been watching, things like that, and just have some conversation time with you guys, the subs, because I like doing stuff like this. I like being informative to you guys. So here we go. I wanted to get a background, or give you guys a background. Some people ask me, you know, a lot of people come on, they do their comic book things and things like that. They ask me where I land, so I want to give you guys some background about myself, about the type of comics I like, why I'm looking forward to certain things, and what things I've been watching and things like that, because here on the channel, I have a ton of things that I've been working on. And sometimes I just want to do a random discussion, just something personal with my subs, with the fans, with all of you guys. So this is probably a quick little thing. Just something for all of the people out there. People can watch this later. I don't know who is going live or anything like that. So I got 3 people watching. Welcome everybody who's watching. This is a random chat. So a couple of things I wanted to talk about. A few things that I wanted to get out of the way. I've been resting today. I had a really late stream. Everyone who was a part of that knows we had a crazy random talk last night. It was great. Hey, Star World, good to see you, buddy, on the channel. I'm talking about random things, so it's good to see that I got 4 people watching a random discussion that I'm going to be having with you guys. Hello, Ria20. Good to see you in my chat. So I am going to be talking to you guys about some things that I love and some things that people don't know about me. I'm a huge comic book fan. I have been in the field of comics for a long time. And people ask me, why am I excited about Dark Phoenix? So I wanted to cover this first and let you guys know why I'm on board with this new Dark Phoenix coming out. And so that's going to be the first topic that I discuss. And I want to get your ideas in the chat. So, you know, let me know how you're feeling about Dark Phoenix coming out, but I want to give you some background. So most people who follow comics, right, they have a collection. They have a collection of comics and why a particular character is their favorite. So I want to show you guys something that I just obtained today. I got this from a student at my school, and this right here is the Dark Phoenix saga. It's all in one giant book. I have all of the issues, but this was given to me by a student. It normally goes for $127. I actually got it for $30. So I'm super excited about it. Dive in. And what's up, Daddy Pants? Good to see you in my chat. I'm having a random talk with you guys. So I'm talking about Dark Phoenix right now and why I'm so excited. And in case you missed it, I got this baby right here. This is the Dark Phoenix saga. It's all in a nice little collection. This normally runs for $100 here in the US, $127 in Canada. And I am a huge fan of the X-Men. Jean Grey was one of the first characters that I fell in love with. And I actually got the whole Anubis of the Dark Phoenix saga. So I will be reading that tonight. But I want to give you guys some context as to why I'm excited. Now, in this book, this is the actual legitimate saga of the Dark Phoenix, the origin story, if you will. And a lot of people ask me, Lee, why are you so excited? Why do you think this is the best iteration of the X-Men that has been done? And so I want to point something out here. The Dark Phoenix saga goes back to, I want to say, let me get in my book here. I want to say that it was an X-Men 97. And it was a 4-year saga. It spanned across, let me see, checking out all the issues here, about a good 10 or 20 issues. So this story is rich in history. And I feel like a lot of elements they're not going to bring from the original. There was a lot of space battles, things like that. I feel like Fox doesn't go into that kind of thing. They want to keep the story grounded, but there is an arc where they go into space and they get a distress call, and Jean Grey and the rest of the X-Men go to check it out. And much like the trailer, the Phoenix inhabits Jean Grey, and she becomes this really powerful force, almost a force of nature, if you will. Oh, my mic's a little off. Do I sound a little bit better? Or is it still kind of crazy? Because my mic for the mic for this is a little bit, I don't like the mic in this on this computer. So, oh, tons of reverb. Thanks for letting me know. Here, let me see. Where do I got it? Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can fix this. Go to my settings, do this. Okay, there we go. All right, let me see if that helps. I hate using the mic on this computer. It's kind of crappy. Thank you. All right, so the Dark Phoenix saga is a very special saga to my heart. Dark Phoenix saga was one of the first sagas that I read in the X-Men series. It is a stellar piece of writing, and it is by, I want to say, Alan Moore did the first iteration of this saga. So Alan Moore is a great comic book writer. And, this is a very special story to me. This was one of the first things that got me into the X-Men. I got X-Men issue 1 when I was a kid. My mom got it for me. So this is a very special story that they're telling, and why I'm so hopeful for this movie. When I saw the trailers, it looked as if they're going to stay pretty true to the source material. And I'm a big fan of changing stuff, but I'm also a fan of staying close to the comics. I feel that you need to mix both of them. Yeah, the echo is from my school. It's not padded, so that's why you're gonna hear maybe me in the background a little bit. So I'll try to keep it lower so the echo isn't that bad. Um, the Dark Phoenix saga is a very special saga. It's a great story, and you get to see something that you never see. In the X-Men, there's two powerful X-Men, and this has been proven throughout X-Men's history, is Charles Xavier and Jean Grey. And if you're going to play the female empowerment role, you have to make sure that you set up the character and establish them. Jean Grey was found by Professor Xavier when she was a girl, and I believe he got her into the academy when she was like 7 or 8 years old, and it's kind of a really touching story because Jean Grey killed her parents by accident. And, she was this cute little girl. And for some reason, Charles loved her the most. I want to say it's because her powers are as powerful as his, if not more powerful. And he always struggled with his ability to read minds, such as Jean Grey. And, they talk about building strong female characters in this world we're in, right? They're saying about how we need strong female characters. Jean Grey is probably one of the most powerful female characters. She essentially went through this tragedy in her life, and she has this massive ability, and then she does stuff with the X-Men, and in about her 20s, they go on this mission, and she gets overtaken by the Dark Phoenix. And it's really interesting because the Dark Phoenix is its own entity. And when it inhabits her body, she has an internal struggle with herself. And she's still learning how to control her powers because she came to the X-Men when she was about an 8-year-old child. She's a veteran. She's led some missions, but she didn't start getting powerful until her teenage years, which most people don't know unless you follow the comics. So Jean Grey is the template for a really compelling character. And this is the biggest thing that upsets me about the media and about which direction they're going with Marvel. There are established female characters they can use. Jean Grey is a great example of a powerful female. And yes, she's a part of a team, but she really stands out on her own with all of the struggles and the trials that she goes through. And when I hear Kevin Feige come out and say stuff like, oh, we don't have strong established females, it's like, no, you guys don't have DC established females like Wonder Woman or, females like that who have their own offshoots. But you do have a lot of powerful females within groups, and they can be made into spinoffs. But the companies don't utilize them, okay? Or they change their origins and try to make them standalone characters when they work really well with their male counterparts. And you could have a really good balanced story or an offshoot depending on how you make the film. And I think that is what's missing with a lot of things that they're trying to do now. So I wanted to give you guys a background and let you guys know I'm an avid comic book fan. Yeah, all of this stuff with, and that's a good point, Daddy Pants. All of this stuff with pushing these agendas, you have built-in characters in these universes that are strong, established women, even though they are in these groups. And these companies can use them if the writers wrote them right. So I kind of wanted to go over the origins of the Dark Phoenix, because this is a perfect example of a character that could stand on their own. And this is my hopes for the Dark Phoenix movie. What's up, Tremaine? I'm talking about my expectations for the new Dark Phoenix movie. I'm giving a background. And for everyone who just joined, all 8 viewers, thank you for coming in. I can't believe I have 8 people watching. Here is my holy grail. This is my baby right here. I don't get a chance to bring my comics with me, but I'm going back through the stories, and this is the collection, my prized possession, X-Men Dark Phoenix Saga. This is the omnibus edition. So. Oh yeah, yeah. There's definitely a big divide, and the sad part is when Stan Lee and everyone first worked on this story, the X-Men were about unity. The whole saga, the whole X-Men saga, is about fighting against racial divides. Their racial divides are society against mutants and powerful beings that can literally destroy everything. And the X-Men are that safeguard. Charles Xavier and the X-Men are the only people who have the power to stop them. Yeah, there is a generation of unmotivated guys. I do agree. There's the younger generation in general is motivated by what they see on their devices and things like that. But no one looks into the history of these things. No one studies the background. The X-Men is a great social study. I mean, these books, Stan Lee and the rest of them, Jack Kirby, Dicko, Moore, all of these guys, they were working on great stories to tell people. They had all of these things that were being dealt with at the time. They had wonderful tales. We didn't have to sit here and push issues. They were already being brought up in the 60s, 70s, 80s. It was the golden age of comic books. And I don't understand why people stray from this source material, because these things were already being brought up. We didn't have to rehash them. They were in the writing, and they were elegantly done. Some of the best works were from my childhood, and I discovered so many good comic books. I've been a big fan of DC, Marvel, Image Comics, Dark Horse. I mean, I've been reading comic books since I got my first X-Men issue. What's up, Perp? Good to see you in the chat. I am talking about comics. For all of you who don't know, I'll probably show this thing off 50 times. I'm so proud of it. But this is what I just obtained. It is a complete saga of Dark Phoenix, getting ready for the movie. And I don't know how well this will show up on camera, but I do want to show you guys the costume which they're going with for this movie. So hold on a second. Let me see if I can find a good page here. So this is the original right here. This is Jean Grey's original outfit. It's the green with gold. And I'm really hoping this is the template that they shoot for. It's got a little bit of a dated feel. I don't know if everyone can see that. I know on the screen it's kind of dark. But right there, you can see she's got the yellow gloves, the yellow symbol. It's green. There's also a red version too. And I want to give you some context as to why I love this saga so much. These stories are really enduring. Her story in particular is one of my favorite stories in comic books. I love Jean Grey. I love the eternal struggle they do with her. I love how they portray her character. Welcome, Maura. Good to see you. I am talking about the X-Men right now, the Dark Phoenix movie and the comic books. I was showing off my my set of comics. So this is just a chat with you guys, get you guys kind of caught up about my background. I do read comics. People never seem to see my comics, so I brought one along with me. I also have a collection of The Walking Dead. I have a collection of The Darkness. I have a collection of Batman versus Predator, things like that. So I am very well versed in the comic book field. So that's kind of where I'm at. So I want to pose a question to the chat. How do you guys feel about this Dark Phoenix movie? Does it look interesting to you? Because I'm curious to see what the general feeling of the community is about this movie. Me personally, I'm excited about it. I want to see what way that they go with it. I know Jennifer Lawrence has said a few comments, but I will not let that deter me from seeing this movie. So everybody in the chat, how are you feeling about this movie? What are your thoughts? Go ahead and respond back. I'm talking to you, the subs. I want to know how you feel about the new 2019 Dark Phoenix movie coming out. Fair enough. You have low expectations. Considering what they did with Apocalypse, I don't blame you. Apocalypse was atrocious. I hated that movie. They really destroyed the character. I felt like they could have did so much more, but they did not. So, yes, the new X-Men have been sort of a shit show. I do agree. And yeah, this is the general feeling of the community. Star Wolf. People have very little expectations for this film, but I want to point out a couple of things. Is that the movie, and I'm just going off the trailers, the movie seems to be going on the origin story of Jean Grey, how she became the Dark Phoenix. That scene they show where they go into space, that's exactly from the comic books. I understand. I have my daughter as well. I'm just doing a quick video because I also have work. So after I get done with work, I'm gonna go see my daughter and gonna go take her to see a movie. I don't know what movie, maybe Godzilla. I haven't quite decided yet. So I hear you, Moira. The kiddos can be tough, but I'm talking about the Dark Phoenix movie. A lot of people, I feel, may be a little bit weary about the trailers, but I really think it's going to follow closely to the books, or I have hopes. She's one of my favorite characters. I'm really hoping they don't destroy her. That would be devastating for me. This is the last film before Marvel takes it over. I really don't want these characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Thank you, Daddy Pats. I appreciate that. I love hanging with my daughter. To be honest with you, from what I've seen, I don't see too much. I don't see too much propaganda in the trailers for Dark Phoenix. I know a lot of people have said something about a scene with Jennifer Lawrence and Professor X. From what I'm gathering, they say that they're going to kill her off in this. So hopefully they kill her in the beginning. I can't stand Mystique. They totally did that character wrong. She was never in charge of the X-Men. I hate the timeline thing. It's really stupid. I don't know why they went that route. You know, honestly, I haven't even liked her since, what was that movie, Hunger Games? And that was okay. I wasn't, you know, a really big fan of those movies. She just did a good job, I guess. Yeah, I think it was the Hunger Games she was in. Yeah, but I'm not really a big fan of the actress at all. I never watched them for her. I do like Michael Fassbender. I do like James McAvoy. I think that they are excellent in their roles. James McAvoy is a great Professor Xavier, and Michael Fassbender is a phenomenal Magneto. So those have always been the reasons why I watched the new franchise. Peter Dinklage was really good in X-Men Days of Future Past. So, that's my hopes, is that they do great acting. I think Sophie Turner, James McAvoy, and Michael Fassbender are going to have to do some phenomenal acting in this movie to hold it up. Otherwise, it's not going to be good. And they're going to not have to put the SJW politics. If they go that route, they're going to destroy this film. And I'm really hoping that they don't do that, because I'll be extremely mad. This is one of my favorite characters. And from what I've seen, Sophie Turner seems to be pretty good in the role. The clips that I saw, she definitely has got the whole fire eyes and things like that. So she's got the conflicted look down. So, you know, it's made me pretty intrigued about where the character's going, what they're going to do with it. So a couple of other things I wanted to talk to you guys about. I got to inform everyone here. I got to let you guys know about some hidden gems that you guys might not know about. Some things you should check out. I am currently a subscriber of DC Universe. Now, I know DC is all over the place. Some people like DC, some don't. They're a hit or miss. But everyone who likes Aquaman or James Wan, go and get a free trial to DC Universe. They're giving away a free like month-long subscription, and then it's like $7.99. Go check them out. James Wan has just put out one of the best episodes of a show that I've seen in a long time. The new show Swamp Thing just dropped. I watched episode 1. It is phenomenal. Keep in mind, they're shooting on almost like a TV budget for these shows. The production value for this show is so high. Yes, Perp Mine, I'm going to get into Doom Patrol too. Okay, so Swamp Thing. When I went in, Swamp Thing is one of my favorite DC characters. I want to give a huge backstory to Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing's character is off of, they do some experiments on the swamp, and the roots and the trees, they start having a life of their own. Now, in the comics, there are two different villains and heroes, so to speak. There's the swamp, which is called the Green, and it's sort of like this swamp, you know, I want to say essentially kills people to keep them away. It wants to live on its own and do its thing. And the villain of the piece is called the Rot. And the Rot is an offshoot of the swamp. And what it does is it mutates these people and makes them grotesque. It's disgusting. And the Rot is the counterbalance to the Green, because in life, everything has to have a balance. And these two opposing forces of nature fight against each other. And the Green, which is kind of the good guy, you know, protecting its own kind of thing, makes a champion. It makes a champion in the swamp called the Swamp Thing, and it takes a guy. It takes a guy to make its champion, to champion for the trees, if you will. So let me just pull something up for you, because I want to kind of give a brief synopsis and let you guys know what this show is about. So okay, so the hero for Swamp Thing, the guy who defends the swamps, his name, because I always forget his damn name. His name is Andy Bean, and the swap. Oh no, I'm sorry, Alexander Alex Olsen. He's a scientist, and he comes to Louisiana, to their swamps, to do research on this weird phenomenon occurring. Apparently, they've been messing around with the swamps, and what happened was the swamp took on a life of its own, and it sees humans as a threat. So the swamp literally attacks people that come into a certain radius of where this chemical spill took place. This doctor has a theory that the plants are coming to life, but no one believes him. So he is pretty much disgraced by the science community because he does some unethical things to prove his theory. And, you know, he starts to become infatuated with this swamp. And in his infatuation, in his brash decisions, he gets overtaken by the swamp. Now, here's the interesting part about this character. Everyone thinks that the character is a person, but it's not. Essentially, the swamp kills Alexander, but his mind stays in and takes a body, a human form, and his mind stays intact, which is kind of crazy. And he becomes like a duality with the swamp. So it's a manifestation of the green with a human mind, and they constantly tug at each other. And for all of you who don't know, in the Justice League, there are two sects. There's the regular Justice League and there's the Dark Justice League. Swamp Thing is a part of the Dark Justice League. These are supernatural beings that aren't accepted even by society. So they form their own league to fight supernatural entities. You have Swamp Thing, you have John Constantine, and all of the other outcasts of the DC universe that come together to form this group. The problem with the group is they all have their own kind of reasons and motivations. So like the Avengers, a lot of them don't see eye to eye on things. And I think it's interesting the way the DC universe is doing their shows, because if they wanted to, they could make a dark Justice League with the characters that they have. But Swamp Thing is really good. I don't want to spoil it for you guys so you can go and see it, but the first like 5 or 10 minutes before the introduction is creepy. If you guys don't know what James Wan has done, he is responsible for the Conjuring universe. James Wan was one of the first people that started the Conjuring. And I believe he's done Annabelle as well, or he was co-director for Annabelle and Annabelle Creation. So he knows how to do horror. And what they did with this show, different from all of the other DC products, is they made it really dark, really scary. So it's kind of crazy. This plays out like a horror film. So instead of having your normal superhero film where you see this creature who's defending people, this creature actually attacks humans. The swamp actually is more of a defense mechanism against man. And I think it's a really cool concept. And this town is being infected by the swamp. People who are coming in contact are getting sick. There's an epidemic going on. So you have essentially two main characters of the show. You have the creature that is being portrayed, and the creature is really well done. The special effects, the CGI, and the practical effects are absolutely awesome. So let me read to you this cast list. It's amazing. Crystal Reed plays Abby Kane. Abby Kane is an essential part of the comics. She is she's the love interest of the creature. So yeah, that's weird. But you know, she falls in love with the guy before he becomes the creature. And she is a CDC doctor who is investigating the life-threatening epidemic hitting this small town. Now we have Virginia Madison, who's also a great actress. She plays the wife, Avery Sutherland, who's grieving over the loss of a daughter. You have Andy Bean and Derek Myers as Alec Howland and the Swamp Thing. Andy Bean, if you guys don't know, he played on a really great show called called The Strain, which was on FX. Awesome show. It was made by Guillermo del Toro. One of my favorite shows. This dude was amazing in that show. He played an exterminator. He's very charismatic. And in this show, he plays a doctor who's disgraced, goes into the swamp to investigate, and is overtaken by the Swamp Thing. We have Jarrell Prescott as Madame Zedel, a blind fortune teller who has psychic abilities to reveal the future, and Will Patton as Avery Sutherland, a prominent businessman who gives to the community, but he wants to harvest the powers of the swamp for himself. So, you got the shady businessman who wants to capitalize on this phenomenon. He's kind of covering things up, and he wants the samples of the swamp to weaponize it and use it to further his agenda. This show is well cast. There is great actors. I mean, this show is phenomenally done. I can't stress to you the time and the care that they have put into making this production. Like, I mean, this is like movie quality production for a television show. So, I mean, if you guys haven't checked it out, go check out Swamp Thing. It's on the DC Universe site. There's just great stuff. So, that's Swamp Thing. Another great show that they have on there is the Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol is by far one of the best series that I've seen come out in a very long time. It is so weird and quirky, and they balance the humor and the adult situations of this show. I mean, and they do a great job with the show. So Doom Patrol are a band of, I wouldn't even call them heroes. They're more of misfits, outcasts, if you will, that are brought together by this doctor who saves their lives, and they tell their story in the first episode. Each of them have a tale of where they come from. And if you guys don't know, two of my favorite actors are in this. Timothy Dalton, who was James Bond. He plays the doctor who fixes them, brings them all together, houses them. And you have Brandon Fraser, who, if you guys don't know who Brandon Fraser is, he was in the original 90s Mummy. He is great in this show. He is really the heart and the soul of this television show. He's just stellar. The first episode is so great because there's humor, but there's a lot of touching moments in it as well. Matt Bomer is in it. If you don't know who he is, he played in White Collar, which was a great USA show. He did Magic Mike. I know how I watched that. My ex took me. It was the worst time of my life ever. I don't even remember the runtime for that movie, but my God, I will never watch that again. Anyways, so you got him. Alan, and I always get his last name wrong. Turk, I believe. He is the narrator of the show. So as you go through, he's the bad guy, essentially telling the story about the good guy. It is really, really hilarious. This guy adds humor to the tale of all of these superheroes. There are 15 episodes, and it's just great. It's really well done. They also introduce Cyborg into it. Cyborg is a character from Teen Titans, and everyone complained because they felt like they put Cyborg in as a token character, but no one realized when you get towards the end of Doom Patrol, he's actually switching over to Titans. In the comics, the Doom Patrol the Doctor did work on some of Cyborg's tech. So he has a place in this group. And it starts out with him wanting to find the doctor with the Doom Patrol because the doctor is like kidnapped, I believe, 1 or 2 episodes in. So, yes, Mr. Nobody. Let me get to the villain of the piece. The villain is funny because the villain is narrating the story, and his name is Mr. Nobody. A long time ago, the doctor, played by Timothy Dalton, was doing experiments and trying to make essentially the perfect human being. And he comes across Andy's character, and it's many years ago, and he essentially makes him this anti-matter kind of villain. He's a really, really powerful villain, and he gets bored. You know, he cannot be challenged by everyone, so he gives Timothy Dalton time to assemble this crew. And throughout the show, he wants a challenge. He wants people who can match up to his power. And it's weird because he does vicious things, but he's also trying to guide them towards him. He wants this fight. He wants this confrontation. And the funny part is, a lot of the members of the group conflict with each other. And also, they have this major conflict with this character. Another favorite character, and I really love her. She takes some time for you to warm up to, but there's a character in this show called Crazy Jane, and her power is she's kind of schizophrenic. Yeah, perp. I love Crazy Jane. Her power is she's schizophrenic, and she has multiple personalities. Each personality has a different power set. So as you go through the show, whenever she gets mad or angry or she switches into different personalities, they all have different powers. Some of them are useful, some of them are totally useless. And then she has her main personality. She does a James McAvoy in this. How she flips from one character to another and they all have distinct traits is something I haven't seen since Split. She phenomenally handles the characters, and she's a very well-built female character. She plays off of her male counterparts extraordinary. I mean, the relationship, yeah, basically. She's pretty much like Legion. The relationship between her and Brandon Fraser's character is really the heart of this story. Like, he lost his daughter in the beginning of the show, and I think he kind of sees her as a daughter that he couldn't have. So he tries to guide her, but you know, he doesn't take any crap. You know, when she gets on her fits and things like that, and they make fun of each other, and I think that really highlights the show. The show has a lot of heart, and it has a lot of mature themes. I mean, the first episode, I don't want to give it away for people who want to watch it, but the first episode, something so tragic happens. And the way you learn about Brandon Fraser's character, you literally want to just break down by the end, especially if you're a parent, because what he thinks happened and then what actually happened to him was so sad. I mean, when I got to the episode, I was so close to tears. Because when he finds out what happened to him and he replays it in his mind, it is the most heartbreaking scene I think I've seen done in television in years. It is, he uses his daughter, who's I assume like 7 or 8, he uses her as his motivation, her memory to rehab himself, because essentially he gets into a bad car accident and all he is a brain inside of a robot body. And he has to learn how to walk again and how to function as this robot. And he uses memories of her running up the stairs and stuff, and he's trying to walk up the stairs with these new robotic legs, and he's cursing. It's hilarious. Brandon Fraser does such a great job. And, you know, towards the end, when, you know, he's using her as a motivation and he finds out what he did, it's really heartbreaking. And I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but you got to watch it because You go on an amazing journey with these characters, and they also have Matt Bomber in it. Now, if you guys don't know, Matt Bomber is gay in real life, broke a lot of females' hearts, and in this show, he plays a gay pilot who has a wife and a family, but they don't know he's gay, and he's in love with one of the people in his unit. And it's very tastefully done because it shows the struggle of him being gay in, like, I think it's like the 70s. And, that wasn't accepted at that time. So what they threw in there, I didn't see it as a push. I saw it as telling facts. Okay, back then, this guy was a well-known Air Force pilot. He was doing an experimental, I believe it was like a space run, and he gets affected by something and gets his powers. But the fact that he deals with the struggle of dealing with his feelings towards males and everything that he goes through, he's a very tortured character too. The woman in it, she's hilarious. She is hold on, let me see. She is Rita. Rita, another one of my favorite characters, played by April Balby. She has the ability to essentially be like an elastic kind of character. She gets her powers very, very weird on the set of shooting a film, and she comes across her powers. And her powers are both a gift and a curse because of how they work. She constantly has to eat meat and things like that, protein, because her body is almost like gel now. So you see her constantly eating. And she deals with the fact that she can turn into this horrific blob-like thing and consume everything. And that's the beautiful thing about this story. These characters are heroes, but they're heroes that deal with real life issues and deal with trying to save the world. And the funniest part about it is they don't want to be heroes. They don't want to have the weight of the world on their shoulders. But when Mr. Negative comes, or Dr. Negative, he or Mr. Nobody. Why did I say Dr. Negative? He's Marvel. Mr. Nobody. When he comes, he forces this group to band together and put aside their issues, put aside their problems for the greater good. Because, like a good superhero tale, your heroes have to be conflicted, and they have to have trials. And when you have a team of conflicted heroes, they can't agree with each other. It's boring. And these guys don't. But when it's time to band together, that's where they really shine as a unit, as a group of misfit individuals. And it's so beautifully done. And I think that DC is getting better as they're doing these shows. Each show is better than the next. So you had Titans, which was kind of, I liked it. There were a lot of plot development issues with it and things like that, but it pulled it together for the last episodes. You have Doom Patrol, which is just a phenomenal show. It's funny, it's dark, it's very violent. It's a really good watch. And you have Swamp Thing, which is like a horror show. It's like literally an hour horror show with a superhero character. So they're doing some great things over there. And if you guys don't have the DC universe, definitely go and check it out. It is worth the $7 just to watch the stuff they're pulling out. Also, they have a mature Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn show coming out, and I'm really, really looking forward to that. Yeah, Perp, DC is making a slow comeback. They need to do what they're doing on these channels, and they need to do it in cinema. I'm looking forward to the Joker. I think that's going to be a phenomenal movie. Thank you, Perp. I'm looking forward to the Joker. I'm looking forward to a bunch of these different things coming out with the DC. I think they had a good idea with Shazam, but they need to pick a tone. They can't be too light. They can't be too dark. They got to find their balance. And they're not Marvel. People are tired of Marvel and all the lighthearted stuff. People like dark stuff. Brightburn was great. I think DC needs to go in that direction. Give people something new, something they haven't seen. Stop giving us the same superhero stuff. The market is saturated. We need to find more innovative things. These creators need to start making different stuff. Yeah, I don't think they need a shared universe. They should make more standalone films, and they should work on their TV because their TV is spot on. I mean, these shows are getting better. The production value is high. The CGI is on point. The practical effects are amazing. I mean, they should just honestly, they should let James Wan head up DC. That's just my opinion. They should let James Wan take over their movie department. This man is already working for Warner Brothers, and I think that they should let him go and just be creative. Hey, Beowulf, good to see you, man. Um, I am talking about the DC universe. I'm talking about how their streaming site is amazing. They've got some great content that they're coming out with, and people really need to support them because right now, financially, they've taken a hit setting this up. And I am a year-long subscriber, and they just got the best content. I mean, there's comic books, there's all of their stuff from Christopher Nolan's Batman to the original Batmans. They've got Superman on there. They've got the animated Batman series from the 90s. I mean, this site is great. They got all of the comic books. I mean, anything you could want DC related is on this platform, and I really think people need to support it because this is what we want as comic book fans. And I am a big DC fan and a big Marvel fan. I really want them to succeed because they've had a really rough go at it, and I think that they need to. I think that they need to appreciate the base more, and I think that they need the base's support. Perp, I don't agree with Robin Patterson killing Batman. I think Robert Patterson can do it because he's done some stellar movies. There's a movie called Me and James Dean. It was a phenomenal movie about the last week of James Dean's life. He did a movie about 9/11, which was phenomenal and a very, very good movie. Robert Patterson is a great actor. People only remember him for Twilight, but he's done some really good independent films. I think that he's getting a lot of flack, and I think that maybe he'll make a good Bruce Wayne. I have to see about Batman. He's got the look for a young Bruce Wayne, so I think they need to bring it to like a year zero Batman. Don't do an older version because he looks too young for that. They need to do a younger version of Batman and kind of show him becoming Batman or something like that. Don't have him headlining the Batman because I don't know. I don't think that would play well with the audience. The problem with Batman is after Christian Bale and Michael Keaton, a lot of people don't accept the new Batmans. Batman is he's a hard character to play. You got to remember, Batman is two characters. You have to be able to play Bruce Wayne, and you have to be able to play Batman. you know, we've had some people who could play Bruce Wayne, but they sucked as Batman. And you have some people who could play Batman, but they suck as Bruce Wayne. And then you have George Clooney, who, God, bat nipples. I don't even want to think about Batman and Robin. That was the most atrocious Batman ever. That was so terrible. When they said George Clooney, I knew that movie was going to be a bomb. And then they had Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. The only one who worked was Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy. It was Herb. I like your thinking. I wouldn't say that Batman wasn't necessarily the ass. I would say that Bruce Wayne put on that image that was his cover. So you want Bruce Wayne to be a playboy, sleeping with a bunch of women kind of guy. You don't want him to be, you know, the conservative Bruce Wayne. That's not part of this cover. I think it's going to be hard with this agenda that they push now to get a good Batman, because they're going to want him to be sensitive towards the females. They don't want him, you know, sleeping with a bunch of women. That would be terrible, you know, because it would be objectifying. No, that's Bruce Wayne's character. That's his cover. The reason why he does that is because he's Batman and he doesn't like people getting close to him. The only one who's ever gotten close to him was Catwoman, who's a villain and as damaged as he is. So it's not out of character for him to do that. Justice League. Justice League. I think they should leave that alone, man. I did not like any of the choices that they made. Ezra Miller could have been a good choice, but he was too, he tried to do a Tom Holland. Jason Momoa was horribly directed in that film. You know, Ben Affleck didn't have much to work with. That movie was a mess. You know, and they picked the most uninteresting villain. Really, Steppenwolf. I mean, I know he's part of, you know, Apocalypse, but he's such a flat character. I don't know why, out of all the characters, they could have did Steppenwolf. They could have went with Granny Goodness. They could have went with a ton of other characters, and they chose freaking Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf is basically just muscle. And even in the comics, he's an idiot. He has to be directed. And I don't know why they tried to make him this brilliant, all-powerful force. It was bad choices. That whole movie was just one bad decision after another. And, you know, Henry Cavill with that mustache. My God. And they CGI'd the mustache. It was terrible. It was horrible choices right from the beginning. I didn't understand what they were doing. It's like, come on. First off, they killed Superman in Batman versus Superman, and then they did 2 story arcs in one movie. You can't do that. The Return of Superman and the Justice League fighting Apocalypse are 2 very different stories. You can't do them both in one movie, even if it's 2 hours. You know, Superman Returns dealt with him coming back and things like that. You had a bunch of fake Supermans. Yeah, you know, Superman was great when he showed up, and how they did it was great. But the problem is, the rest of the movie was subpar. Steppenwolf was terribly done, and when Superman came, I felt like he was nerfed because they wanted to get everybody in there. You know, they really handled it poorly, and I don't blame Henry Cavill. I really don't. If you watch him in this Mission Impossible Fallout, he's a great actor. It's just he wasn't given any direction. Patty Jenkins. You know, I don't know how I feel about that. You know, I want to pull up something because I don't even know much of her work. So let's see what Patty Jenkins has done. Let's do a little Google action. Patty Jenkins. Let's see what she has to her film credits. Oh, she did Wonder Woman. That's interesting. Here's my problem with this theory. Gal Gadot is coming out and saying a lot of feminist stuff. I have a bad feeling that Wonder Woman 1984 is going to go in a very different route than the first Wonder Woman. I'm really hope that it doesn't, But I'm starting to see a little bit of agendas being put out there before this film, and you know, I'm really hoping that Patty does what she did with Wonder Woman and makes it an enjoyable film. She's a great director. I know Mary has a stream going on. Um, I didn't realize she was streaming right now, so I'm doing this before I go into work. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. This is just a random stream to talk to you guys, my subs. Sometimes I just want to do stuff without having other people on. Just talk to my viewers. So thank you, MegaJetty1, for coming in. We are talking about DC right now, and we're talking about the new Superman. Now, here's the thing that I'm worried about. Who are they going? They're doing recasts for all of these characters. Who are they recasting as Superman? I still haven't heard anything about the new Superman and who's going to play the new Superman. And that's really important. I mean, you know, you got to cast the right Superman. I thought Henry Cavill was a good Superman. I did. I liked Henry Cavill. So I don't know. So they're saying it's going to be a different tone at a perk. That's good to know. Let's see if I can get any information about the new Superman coming up. So we could see what are they doing for this new Superman, what kind of tone they're going for. I'm curious. Let's go to Superman recast. Let's see. Okay, so they are recasting Henry Cavill right now, but they are not saying who that they want to play their new Superman. There's a lot of names being thrown around, so I don't know. This is interesting. I mean, I don't know who they're going to get as the new Superman. It's going to be brighter than the first Wonder Woman. That's interesting. So let me see. Let me go to a couple articles here. I know Henry Cavill is out. They said, according to a report to the Hollywood Reporter, the actor will be hanging up his cape. Let's see. The upcoming Matt Reeves Superman film is said to be featured a younger version with a different actor. You're saying Matt Reeves is going to do this, but this article is from 2018. So Patty Jenkins has now helmed it. It's going to be interesting to see who she casts as the new Superman. That's going to make or break this film. A lot of people did not like Henry Cavill being Superman. I think that their choice is going to have to be a really good one. They're going to have a really good Superman to sell this movie. And if they're going the younger Superman route, it's going to be important to cast a good younger actor. And to be honest with you guys, I don't know who is a younger actor that it would make a good Superman. Yeah, I could definitely see that, Perp. I could definitely see Chris replacing him. You know, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting to see who they go with. You know, they talked a lot about making an African American Superman, and there was huge backlash. And I want your opinion. What do you guys think of that? Because I know like people like Young Rippa came out and said that that was a stupid idea. I watch him a lot because we both are rooted in comic books. But I think that fans have built an image of Superman in their mind, and that things like that, those drastic changes, those are what create rifts in the fan base. I didn't have a problem with that idea, except for the fact that you would have to. I mean, it would be a hard sell for people who are diehard Superman fans. That would not play well. They talked about Isaac Elba, I can never say his name. The dude who played Heimdall. They were talking about him for a while playing Superman. I don't know. I could buy that. I could definitely buy that. Isa Elba, I think is his name. He is a awesome actor. I don't know, very charismatic. I think he could have pulled off the role. But you know, you have the purists who don't like their heroes messed with, and I think that you know, that would get so much backlash when they even suggested it. Oh my God, the fan backlash. Yeah, they were talking about Michael B. Jordan, and I gotta be honest with you, Perp, I agree. Michael B. Jordan is a phenomenal actor. The only part I liked about Black Panther was his character. He was so great as Killmonger. As Apollo, he was a phenomenal. That movie, Apollo, was so amazing. And he did such a good job playing Apollo Creed's son. I mean, Michael B. Jordan is a really good, underrated, underused talent that's just getting noticed now. I honestly could see him doing, you know, doing the Superman role. Welcome, Classic Blue. I am talking about Marvel, DC, and giving people my comic book background and my choices for the new films and whatnot coming up. So, everybody who's in the chat, go ahead and light that chat up. Tell me what you think about this new Joker movie coming out. I love Phoenix. I think he's a great actor, and I think he's going to do a really good job in this Joker movie. I really, off the trailers, I was really getting that vibe when he did that laugh. No, Black Angus, we're not on that part of the section. Thank you, Black Angus, for dropping in. I am talking about choices in DC. We are talking about casting choices. Oh my God. We are talking about casting choices, and I was talking about the new Joker, and I want to get the chat's thoughts on what they think about the new Joker. I am really feeling Phoenix playing this Joker. He's an accomplished actor. I love Gladiator. When he did that laugh in the middle of the trailer, I go, yep, that's Joker. People don't realize, too, anyone can play Joker. Oh, my God. Brie Larson. Well, she's insane. You know, I see another poster of her, Angus. I may play the Joker because I'm just going to go insane. Oh, my God. Yeah, you know, I really am excited about this casting, and I really want to see this movie. They have, I believe, Robert De Niro is in here. I mean, Robert De Niro in a DC movie. That is crazy. I'm really excited to see what role he plays. I think he's a TV announcer of some sort. I mean, this movie, I think, has definitely has Oscar potential. I'm gonna throw it out there. I think that this could be the movie that really defines them making good standalone films. If they do this right, if Phoenix is able to hit this role, this could be a movie that really could put DC back on track. And I know a lot of DC fans have been hoping for this. You know, they've been hoping for they've gotten good movies here and there, but they really need a breakout film, something just like Wonder Woman. You know. Oh man, I can't believe we're still talking about Raylo. You know, and here's a good topic. Who here? Yeah, Joker does need a good foil. Yes, Robert De Niro. To let you guys know, if you didn't know, Martin Scorsese is a producer in this movie. He's producing, and I forget the director's name, but he has a hand in this. And Martin Scorsese is one of my favorite directors of all time. If Martin Scorsese is working on this film, I think it is going to be in contention for Oscars. I really do. And that's why Robert De Niro is in it, because Robert De Niro has a relationship with Martin Scorsese. I think this is a powerhouse team up. I mean, and I think if Joaquin Phoenix does a good job, I don't think they're going to get rid of him. I think that maybe they'll find a way to integrate this. I think they want to see what the box office is going to be. Granted, the Joker is going to be rated R, so I don't know. Maybe they do a one-off, but I think they're going to wait and see how much money they make. You know, I would like to see a really dark tale of Joker. I would like to see a darker Batman. I mean, an R-rated Batman, that would be cool. I think that would be really awesome, and they could do a lot. I think they need to move away from all of these other characters they've had. People are tired. People are tired of Penguin, Catwoman, and all these other people that they've been introducing. They want other villains. They need to mix it up. Well, I mean, if they make a good film, why not? Yeah, you know what, Mega? I'm not surprised. Brie Larson is such a paper-thin actress. She can't take any criticism. And Martin Scorsese is a master. You know, if Martin Scorsese tells you to work on something, you listen to that man, okay? Brie Larson is writing off of $1 billion for a subpar movie, and she's writing off her fame off of one freaking Oscar, you know, or award that she got for Room. You know, she's writing off of this one successful movie. Martin Scorsese has made a ton of different kinds of films. The man is a master of cinematography. He's a master of directing. He's good with his writers. And I really think that if he has a big hand in this movie, it is going to be brilliant. And you know what? I've said it before. Forget Brie Larson. You know, I think that she is an atrocious person. I think that she is so paper thin that she can't take critiques. You know, she's so SJW and wacky in her politics. She can't be with her own coworkers. You know, it's really, really, you know, it's really sad. Perk, I don't know. Mr. Freeze is a hard character to do. I would like to see a good Mr. Freeze. I don't know if anyone watched Gotham. I think their version of Mr. Freeze was probably the best that I saw. You know, I could buy that as a character. He's a very good, compelling character. Yeah, I agree. He does need to. That's a good point, Classic. He does need to fall into a vat of chemicals. We need to see that in his backstory. That is old school Joker. But then again, this could be an artistic interpretation. People forget the Joker has many tales. It's not just the chemical. There's a tale where he went insane. There's been different universes. You know. Oh, I did not know that. Jeremy did an interview with the creator of Earthworm Jim. That is really cool. I love that. Earthworm Jim was a great game. I remember playing Earthworm Jim 1 and 2. That was so awesome. Mr. Freeze is Sub-Zero. To be fair, Mr. Freeze did come before Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat was in the early 90s. Mr. Freeze was established in like 80s Batman. So I'm going to have to say that Mr. Freeze is the OG, and Sub-Zero is actually the inspiration from Mr. Freeze. Yeah, because Sub-Zero came way later. The Mortal Kombat universe was established way after DC had established their characters. Penguin, Riddler, Joker, Two-Face, Mr. Freeze, they were all established characters before the MK universe existed. We're talking like going back to, 60s, 70s in that area. Yeah, Infinite Crisis would be good depending on how they handle it. Fair enough. The animated Batman movie, Sub-Zero. That is true. I misread that quote. The best of Mr. Freeze was that Batman. Thank you for clearing that up. I got confused because of Sub-Zero and Mortal Kombat. Yeah, I am conflicted. Poison Ivy, if I remember correctly, when she first appeared in the comics, she was more lady than the green. The green was a byproduct or an effect of the plants and the chemicals that turned her green. No, I've seen the Sub-Zero animated movie. It came after Mask of the Phantasm. It was a really cool movie. I loved that animation of the character. You know what? I think Jared Leto's Joker could have been good. I didn't like how they modernized it. I didn't like the gold grill. I didn't like the tattoos. They were kind of obvious. They needed the design of Joker for that movie was pretty terrible. They should have went with a different design choice. I liked how they did. I like how he did his voice and everything. He really got into the role. I just think that the dressing department, the all of the wardrobes and stuff that they picked were terrible. No, bitchy. I swapped shifts. I had no clue that I was not working today, and then I am apparently working later, so that's why I am on this stream, coming to you guys live, doing a little stream action. Yeah, I agree. I think no eyebrows and get rid of the tattoos. Get rid of that stupid gold grill he had. Oh, that was atrocious. He had a gold grill that's a Joker. Oh my God, it was like we know who the Joker is. You don't have to put all this stuff on him. He's a pretty established character. All right, Daddy Pants, thank you for joining my stream. This is just a quick thing I'm doing for everyone to kind of, talk with my subs, see how everything's going. Yeah, that's pretty interesting, Mega Jetty. I like that. That is very interesting. Bitchy Unicorn, I will eventually sleep one day. Actually, I'll probably sleep after this stream. So, yeah, that's gonna be a thing. And also too, I have 9 likes. So thank you everybody. If you haven't, smash that melee button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Anyone who drops in, hit that subscribe button. I am up to 234. So, I have another one of my key people in here, Bitchy Unicorn. If you don't know, she is on Twitter. She has the same name. Bitchy, put your Twitter in the chat so people can follow you on Twitter. And also, she has a YouTube channel, but no contact. So, thank you. Oh my goodness. So I've been talking about DC, Marvel. I want to talk to you guys about one more thing before I get going here. I want to talk to you guys about 2019. There has been some movies. Recently, a movie Ma came out. whilst I was working, I had the opportunity to watch this film. It is terrible. Um, Not terrible because of the actors in it, but it is terrible because of the fact that this movie was R-rated, and the actress in it, I forgot her name. I believe Octavius is the last name, but she's a pretty good actress. She plays a character who is stalking these teenagers, and she buys them alcohol, and then they go back to her place, and it becomes a party place, and then wacky shenanigans ensue. She becomes kind of obsessive and starts messing with the kids. This movie had such great potential, and this is the problem with certain horror writers. They had an R rating, and for an R-rated film, there is very little to no deaths in this movie, very little to no violence. And no, to be fair, they didn't show everything in the trailer. There's a lot of scenes that they didn't show that are in the movie. Um, it did give you some of the more better scenes, but there's still some stuff in there that was pretty creepy that they didn't show. My problem with the film is they didn't take it all the way. This was a film that needed violence to really sell the character, and they make her backstory to where you kind of are sympathetic with this character, but then they pull back. It's almost like they didn't have the guts to go all the way with their concept, and it really annoys me because I hate when you have a I hate when you have an R-rated film and it's rated R because of language. There's no real violence to the film, and it's a weird choice for a horror movie. I don't know why they had such a good premise and they were too scared to take it all the way. And this film had so much potential. Yeah, Jennifer's Body. But to be fair, Jennifer's Body had Megan Fox. And I mean, come on, her and Amanda Seyfried in that one scene where they're in the bed and they're talking about, kissing. Oh my God, favorite part in a movie ever. That movie's a guilty pleasure. I watch it every time it's on television. Yeah, that's a very good Medi That is a very good concept for the Joker. You definitely should keep on that because that's really interesting. Um, but yeah, you just yelled it and you're binge watching tonight. What show? That's only 6 episodes. Classic. Because I missed that. Good Omens. It's okay so far. Oh, Good Omens. Okay. Yeah, Netflix has a lot of interesting shows. So, yes, I did see Double Impact, Mega Jetty. I did see Double Impact, one of my favorite movies. I love Jean-Claude Van Damme. I've loved all of his stuff. He's pretty amazing, martial artist and actor. And, he did a lot of classic films. He did Lionheart. He did, what was that movie where he was an android? One of my favorite ones. Ah, God. Was it, I know Blood Sport. What was the other movie? Universal Soldier. He did Universal Soldier with Dolph Lundgren. That is one of my favorite tales of cybernetic modification and humans messing with that technology to make the perfect human. It was such a great movie, and him and Dolph Lundgren were great. Dolph Lundgren had some of the greatest lines, like when he cut off all those people's ears, and he goes to Jean-Claude Van Damme. He's like, "I can't hear you. What'd you say?" Oh my God, that was so funny. That movie was a gem. They won't make good action movies like that. Yeah, make sure Classic Blue. Make sure that you click the link He supports the elderly and the disabled. So he does a lot of good work with that. And please make sure that you are dropping some love over at Classic Blue Reviews, because he's a great guy, and I really like good causes. So no, the one with Kurt Russell, I think, was different. I know what you're talking about because I like that one too. I forget for the life of me, what the name, Soldier. That was the name of Kurt Russell's one, was Soldier. And then Universal Soldier was Jean-Claude Van Damme. So. Yes, I agree, Mega Jenny. I agree with that. Very true. Very, very true. Um, they did so many good things. When I was a kid, they did so many good things with the R-rated genre. They were making some innovative, really good films. A lot of the martial arts, a lot of the action movies of the time, they were so well made. And, this is the problem with films. You don't have creative minds. I mean, back in that time, you had so many people trying to make their mark, and it made good competition. Now you have Disney, who's releasing 5 movies that are competing with each other. They're cornering the entertainment market. You have other people trying to compete with Disney, and it's really destroying the creative process. I mean, you used to have competition, and that's the problem with the film industry for me, is there's no competition. There's no one who wants to make innovative stuff and think outside of the box. They want to copy everybody else, and it's like, be yourself. Fans will come if you make good products. If you give us the same stuff, we won't want to watch it because we're watching all of the same things all of the time. We need competition. We need that thing, that drive from the audience or from the producers, directors, and all of that to make good films. And they're not producing anything new in Hollywood. They're just redoing everything that's ever been done, and it's really annoying. It's what I talk about on the channel, and I get tired of seeing 5 of the same movies, 5 of the same animated films. Animation isn't even different anymore. They're not even doing new animated stuff. I think the most creative thing I saw come out was The Missing Link. I mean, you've had a few different animated features, but nothing that's trying to break the boundaries, nothing that's trying to be creative and original. And that's the problem. Hollywood is running out of ideas. They're running out of directors to man these films. No one is being gutsy and trying something new. They're just pandering to a crowd. They're not being original. And these guys need to get back to their grassroots, and they need to be original. Make us different content. Stop putting out the same stuff. I'm tired of all the new stuff. It's all the same. Oh, Blue Shogun. I have to check that out. I have not seen that. It's very rare, Mega Jetty, to get films that I don't watch. I watch a lot of movies. It's part of the reason why I started my channel, was because I wanted to talk to you guys about these different films, and I want to talk about the newer stuff. Yeah, Perp, 2D animation. What happened to the good old days of Bambi, Aladdin? When Disney went that route. They had some great 2D stuff. Little Mermaid. I mean, you had Secret of Nim, which was one of my favorite movies as a kid. I mean, you had so many good 2D animations, and now they're all going in this 3D CGI nonsense. I'm so tired of movies just littered with CGI and no creativity. Yes, I love anime. Anime, to me, keeps that style of 2D animation alive. I don't like some of the anime that's blending CGI. I think it looks atrocious. Berserk, not happy with that whatsoever. I'm a huge Berserk fan. I have the mangas, and I hate the fact that they took Berserk in that weird 3D slash 2D style. It's horrible. It's absolutely god awful. Perp, I have started doing Attack on Titan season 3. So I will let you know what I think about that. Maybe we'll get on a panel together and we'll talk about it, because I'm really liking it so far. So I like the route that took it. Yeah, Attack on Titans can't do some of those movements without blending 3D when they're going back and forth. Oh yeah, the 90s did rock. Under Siege is me and my mom's favorite movie. Tommy Lee Jones, the knife fight he has with Steven Seagal, amazing. Oh my God, such great camera work, choreographing. Man, the 90s had so many good films. I really miss that. And don't worry, Perp. We'll do an anime get together. We'll talk about Attack on Titans season 3 as soon as I finish it. Just started going back through the Hulu and rewatching some of my animes. So, you know. Yeah, Mora, you know how I stream. You know, I'm a yeah, when I talk to you guys, I like to talk to you for a while. You know, I love YouTube, and I love all sorts of content creators, but sometimes I want to just I want to just have chats with my subs. I think that people appreciate being able to go on a channel that wants to interact and talk with you guys. You know, shoot the shit, talk about different subjects. We don't always have to talk about the same thing, you know? Oh, yeah. I love Speed and I love Die Hard. Classic. You know, you don't get lines like that. And, yeah, happy birthday. Yeah, you know, congratulations, Moira, on your 22nd birthday. Really, good stuff. Good stuff. Yep, I said it, 22nd birthday. I know how it goes. I plan on staying like 22 or 23 for as long as I can. So, but yes, that scene with Tommy Lee Jones and Steven Seagal was amazing. I put it on the level of how John Wick shoots their fight scenes, because John Wick has a lot of practical effects. John Wick has a lot of you know, basic stunts that they do, and that's why I love John Wick so much, is the fact that the fight scenes in John Wick are like the old school classic movies I grew up with, you know? I love that feel. I love that line. That is a great line, Mega Jetty. Love it. Oh, thank you. Thank you. When I first created this channel, I wanted to make my my channel interactive for not only you guys to talk to me, but to talk to each other. The Phantom Collective that I'm part of, and all those great channels that have taken me in and helped me out. We have built this theory of wanting to give you guys as fans an interactive view, you know, and as part of the Phantom Collective, I've wanted to interact with the people who subscribe to me. I think it's important that we all talk to you guys, and we guys treat you more than just subs on our platform. Okay, it's great you guys are subbed to me, but I want to treat you guys like human beings, like I'm having a talk with a coworker or with friends. I want you guys to feel like when you come on my channel that you can talk to each other, you can talk to me, you can state your views and opinions, and you know, here, no one's going to block your comments unless they're really rude or racially charged. Then I'm going to have to lay the hammer down. But no one's going to you know, not hear what you have to say. They're going to listen to the things that you have to say. And I'm gonna try to answer all of your guys' questions. Johnny Mnemonic was one of my favorite underrated films. I didn't know that they were doing Speed 4. That'll be interesting. I wonder if they do Keanu Reeves. Yes, I know. I want to do a dojo stream. I know, Perp. That's why you're one of my mods. You got, you know, I got to make sure that my mods are handling that chat late in the SmackDown. Honestly, I don't know. I've seen small channels do chats like this. I don't know how many subs you have to have. God, 100 subs seems like years ago. Right now, I believe I'm at 234. So I'm trying to get to the threes. It's been a slow climb. But I've been on some big channels. I got some other big stuff coming up. So, you know, but I'm not really worried about getting to 1K. I just want to continuously talk to you guys. I think it gets harder as you get up in subs to really be able to address your fans personally like this. I can have a one-on-one I can have a one-on-one interpersonal conversation with you guys. When you got like 30 or 40 people watching, it is so hard to keep track of the chats. You know, I never want to be that person who ignores their fans once they reach that 1K. I want to be able to talk to each and every one of you guys and let you know where I'm coming from. That's why I decided to shoot this personal chat with you guys, because I like talking to you. I like getting your take on things. I like interacting with you guys. It makes the channel fun. It's great. So Speed 3 takes place on a boat. Yes, I thought it did. Or was that Speed 2? Speed 2, I think, did the boat. And it had Sandra Bullock in it. Yeah, it is difficult, Mega. It is difficult for you to get that 1K. That's what makes it so hard. Don't worry, Classic Blue. We're going to get you to the 100 mark. Okay, yeah, it was Speed 2. That's what I thought. Speed 2 was Cruise Control. I don't know. It was okay. 229. Awesome job, buddy. I'm glad you're at 229. And if you guys don't know, or you're not, sub to Classic Blue Reviews, because I'm trying to get them past that 100 subs mark. So yeah, you know, I do these personal chats because I like talking with you guys. I like you guys interacting with each other. Sometimes I just throw out random subjects and I see where the conversation goes. I don't necessarily have to have a topic. And I mean, I can talk for a long time. You can ask Bitchy Unicorn. I talk forever. Sometimes she's like, why don't you shut up? So I was like, okay, I'll go on YouTube and I'll talk with everyone else. And, you know, she says it playfully. But yeah, I really love talking to people. That's why I do what I do in real life. And I try to reach as many people as I can here on the channel because I want to get your guys' views and opinions. So, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. You know, and I do have these streams that aren't age restricted. So, you know, I try to keep my content for the most part watchable. It depends on who I have on as a guest and what we're talking about. Thank you, Perp Mine. I really tried. Yes, I did see the new Godzilla. It was interesting. Some people like it, some people won't. The monsters fighting scenes were really good. The human dialogue was atrocious. But you know, it's a Godzilla movie, so they could have probably done more with the monster fighting, I think. but I think they set up for a lot of promising things. I think it's going to do well in the box office. That's just my opinion on the franchise. So, no, I'm not going to spoil it. It's still fresh, so I will probably do a spoiler review on it after a couple of weeks have gone by to talk about why I like it. But me and Black Angus did a stream where we talked about Godzilla. So, yeah, we dived into it. We did the first couple of minutes were non-spoilers, and then we did spoilers. Yeah, I love those matchups. Me and Lethal, you know, Lethal's a great guy. You know, some of his choices I wasn't sure about, but you know, we're talking about supernatural beings. It's hard to do a show based in reality against a show that does something with gods and all sorts of stuff. So those were tough picks. So that was a great stream. Last night's stream was awesome. I loved it. I had a lot of fun. So, but anyways, I wanted to bring this to you guys. I wanted to talk to you for a little bit. I'm gonna get going. Maybe catch some Z's. Refuel myself for the evening. Me and PD might have a late night chat going on today. It depends. I as well have to spend time with my daughter. So on these weekends, I spend time with her. We go to the movies and things like that. So yeah, I didn't agree with that either. I can't believe he lost to Sonya. But yeah, so anyways, I am going to bring this stream to a close because I'm gonna go and check out some stuff that I missed. I'm gonna go watch some Attack on Titans, and catch up on that so that me and Perp can have that discussion. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave you with this, guys. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you for subbing to my channel. This stream is my personal stream for you guys. I like talking with you every now and again and getting your feelings on things. And you know, follow me on Twitter if you're not. My Twitter is different than my actual YouTube, so I'll put that down there for you guys. And that is my Twitter right there. It's at Siler1217. So if you guys aren't following, you guys can follow me. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you people who are subbed to me. If you're new to the channel, or if you popped in, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure everyone subscribes to everyone here in the chat, because these are all great, wonderful people that I have on my channel. So make sure you're showing them love. I'm all about the community, sharing with each other, sharing subs, and getting to know each other. That's how we build and grow our community, and we make it a fun place for everybody. You know, that's what this is about. You know, at least for me, it's about reaching out and talking to all you guys and having a close personal relationship with my subscribers. And I love every one of you. So I'm gonna leave you off with this. As I always say, me and all of my friends over at the DC Universe, go check them out. We'll see you at the movies. Everybody have a good day, and don't forget, I might be doing my really late night stream with PB and the Night Owls. I don't know who we'll have on as a guest. It's always a surprise, and we will have some fun discussions. So I'll be working on that. If not, it will definitely be Sunday night. So as I always say, take care of yourselves and each other, and have a great day. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I love all of you. Peace out.